Hello, everybody. Today is Wednesday, March the 18th, 2015. My name is Michael Wright, and this is the Daily Moving Average video. Just before going forward, please do pause the recording and read over our risk disclaimer. All right, let's look at the market from a moving average standpoint. But just before we do that, let's jump into the members area. Um, if you are not logged in, just go to the top of the page and log in, and then the members tab will appear. You have the drop down and everything else here. Okay, trade setups as such, trade signals. The trade setups, these are more like articles. The trade signals, even though you see a setup in here, you'll have is more of a setup, and then you have more details on the chart itself, as well as the entry level, stop loss levels, and the ideal target zone. If anyone had a short stop open, right, that is shorting to the downside after prices hit a level. Okay, and then you had this play that came exactly how we envisioned it, right? So uh, keep a that trade I do still like to the downside. Everything as we say now, or as we said in that article, is in play. Okay, so watch for that, and then the other play um, that we have are the three open trades: the long Euro Aussie, the short Aussie Yen, and the long Aussie Kiwi. So we will look at that um, from a moving average standpoint. So I'll pull that up on this chart. So the moving averages that I prefer, for those who've been following me for quite some time, first one is the 50. Okay, the 50 period moving average is a period because I tend to like it on a 4-hour time frame. If you're looking at it from a daily perspective, then you'll call it the 50-day moving average, shorter time periods, etc. On a weekly, it'll be the 50-week moving average, etc. Okay, so that's the 50. We're also gonna put up the 100, and then the other one that we are going to place is the 200 period moving average. I will make that one pink. Okay, so here we have the 50, 100, and 200. Um, Aligned right now is the euro pound. I am looking at that pair. Um, I posted that trade setup yesterday. It has broken all levels. Now I'm waiting for a pullback. This is from a Ichimoku standpoint. At that point, it was at 71.78. The plan you guys can see here. Again, just sign in, and then all the details are either within the article or on the chart for the setup. But that play is in play. I'll look at this one first. Here goes the other trend line break, and now just looking for a pullback. Ideally, I like anywhere near 72 psychological support. So that's the ideal play. I'm just looking for it at a little bit lower. If you can digest a bigger stop loss, then you're in play currently. Okay. Stops ideally against 71, even towards a 71.40 area. I prefer 71.40. So if I get back to a 72, that'll give me a 60 pip stop. So watch out for that, or you can be in the position from current levels. All right, so I'll take off these two trend lines. Aussie yen. Let's look at that one first. Aussie yen here. We had a break on prices below the trend line back in the beginning of March, so like March 9th, March 10th. Um, then we had a retest, and right now we are. I'm gonna take off this trend line. Stops on this position are already at break even. We are currently testing this minor trend line here. we had this small bounce. I just put that there because just to take notice of it. So far, we have one, two, three for a bigger W wave. Um, then the top was rejected by the near the 76.4 fib. And now, in my opinion, as long as we stay below the 50 period moving average on this 4 hour time frame, downside risks are preferred. Right? As you guys know, I like to pair different um, different sort of strategies together. So here is a moving average, but you can still see I have the price action cues up, and then also fibs, etc. All right, I do like to pair it together just to get more of the viewpoint. That's just my preference. But we are below all three moving averages, so that is preferred for the downside. Okay, right? So it's all bearish cues. Um, and as long as we stay below this 200, which is around current prices, which also aligns with the short-term trend line resistance, downside is still preferred. Um, we already had the we already had the crossover of the 50 period moving average below the 100, so that's the first bearish cue. The other one will come off of um, the depth cross. The depth cross is when the 50 period crosses below the 200 period. The last time we seen that was back in December 11th here. Okay, and then we had a drop from 98.20 about, and a recent low of 89. Okay, so almost 1,000 pips, exactly about 900 pips. Since then, there hasn't. There was a slight upside cross. We haven't crossed over yet, but if we do get this downside, then again, it will put some additional light to our bearish viewpoint. Um, Away from that, the Euro Aussie is we had a slight crossover above the 50. I thought we was gonna hold. Obviously, we didn't hold, but then now we are holding or at the trend line support on the shorter time frame. A forward close back above the 50 period moving average will put our bullish perspective back into place. I'm not going to close this position, going to leave it intact as we also have some bullish momentum divergence. This is the first time we had a crossover of prices on the moving average since middle of February, and you can really see how prices play that. Okay, again, just another viewpoint on that level, and then obviously we start to eye higher points to the upside. So watch out for the Euro Aussie. You could sort of say bottom picking, but more importantly, we did have some breakouts of price action. Okay, um, just speeding things up so we can cover some additional pairs. Aussie Kiwi, that's the other pair that we are in and do like. Um, we had the 50 cross above the 100 already. That happened back in the beginning of March. And now we just look for prices just to really stay above 103. That's our big area. As long as prices stay above 103, our bullish bias comes intact, and we are nearing a golden cross, which is a 50 crossing above the 200 period moving average. Okay, here. So, but prices obviously do need to start to get some little upside wind. If you're not in this trade and are looking for entry points, nice entry point in my opinion is trendline support and psychological at 1.0350. And lastly, Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar is just around the 50 period moving average, so watch out for that. If it makes it forward close below, downside still preferred, but again, this bearish crossover on the 50 and 100 still downside. I still actually do like this pair for the losses. Only thing that would change my perspective is a break above the 200 at 77.50, which will align basically with the trend line there. All right, guys. So let's leave off there. If you have any questions, jump in the chat room or Skype us at Global FS Club. Cheers and good luck trading.